For over a decade, I've been thinking about how can I help people overcome the problems in their life? How can I help them to have a sense of joy, a sense of peace, and a sense of well-being? Well, one night when I was sitting by my bedside, this simple path came to me. So today, I'm happy to share it with you. Number one, find out what's irritating you and eliminate it. Number two, nourish your body. Number three, get comfortable in your body. Number four, use your natural resources. Those are your smile, your heart, and your sexuality. Number five, love, admire, and respect yourself as well as others. Number one, eliminate what's irritating you. You know, that can be on a lot of levels, can't it? Stressors come in many forms. We have physical stress, mental, emotional stress, chemical stress from the poisons that are in the world around us. There's financial stress, isn't there? There's the stress of what's happening around the world. So, what do we do with that stress? The Buddhists say that human beings suffer because we don't accept what is. My personal philosophy is that we need to work like heck to change what we can, but then if we're not able to change it, to accept what is so that we can find peace within our being. The same thing might be with a job. One of my heroes, Zig Ziglar, I went to a workshop with him, and he says, if you can't love what you do, then love what it does for you. Our jobs help us to put food on the table. They help us to pay our bills. They help us to keep a motor car going. So if we can't love what we can do, we can love what it does for us. So I'd like to tell you about a little-known piece of your anatomy. Right in here in your belly, there's two things you should know about. One of them is a garbage disposal unit, a refuse recycling center, and the other one is a treasure chest. So when you have things that are bothering you, I encourage you to send them to this refuse recycling center, turn it on, gobble it up, and use that for fertilizer for your life. And when you have good things that happen to you, you know how sometimes it can spill over and brim over? Well, let those good things come into your treasure chest. You can close the lid and store them for later. Number two, we want to nourish our bodies and nourish our minds, nourish our hearts. When we think of nourishment, we generally think of food that we eat. And of course, wearing my nutritionist hat, we want to eat organic food as much as possible. We want to drink good water. I recommend 1/2 ounce for every pound that we weigh. We want to make sure that we get good fats in our diet. Olive oil, wild salmon, nuts, organic if we can get them. And we want to make sure that we're getting sufficient amount of fiber. I found in my book, Internal Cleansing, I've researched this book a couple of times, and every time I research it, the people who have a plant-based diet, the people who eat 10 servings of vegetables a day, 5 to 10 servings, have the healthiest bodies, the healthiest minds, the healthiest hearts. So we want to try to make sure to have most of the food that we eat be vegetables, a couple of servings of fruit a day. And when I recommend what patients eat, if you think of a plate, have half of the plate be filled with vegetables, 1/4 filled with good starch, maybe some brown rice or some butternut squash or butternut squash soup, whole grain bread, and then the other 1/4 have high quality protein. And then for our sense of touch, getting a massage, making sure you collect a lot of hugs during the day, taking a nice sensual bath, or wearing silk on your body. That's always ways to treat the sensual side of yourself, the feeling, the skin, the movement part of yourself, and moving also. So feeding our senses is a way that we can nourish ourselves and have a blissful experience. Next, we want to think about getting comfortable in our body. That's number 3. You've heard the expression, if we don't use it, we lose it. So that's very true of our muscles. And the wonderful news about that is that even in the 90s, if we start to work out, we can develop muscles at the same rate that a 20-year-old can. Fourth thing that we want to talk about is using your natural resources. In the Taoist system, we say that by the time we're 35 years old, we've used up most of our natal energy, the energy that was given to us when we were born. So how do we build more energy? Well, we have 3 powerhouses in our body. We have a smile, we have a heart, and we have our sexual palace. So when we smile, science tells us that happy hormones are produced. So simply lifting up the corners of your mouth and also engaging your eyes is a way to change your physical state, to change your mental state, and to change your emotional state so that you can experience more joy and more bliss. Then we have the heart. Who doesn't feel better when they feel love? Love creates a very complex release of hormones in the body. There's hormones that excite, there's hormones that expand, there's hormones that relax. Then there's our sexual palace. Now, who hasn't felt the rush of feeling an attraction for somebody, right? You see somebody, you want them. Wow, how does your body feel? It's all charged up. We can use that sexual energy, let it spread up throughout our body, let it make our cheeks rosy, let it expand our lungs, let it put a glow on our face. And number 5, we want to love, admire, and respect ourselves as well as others. And it's easy for women, isn't it, to love other people, to admire them, to respect the people that we've learned from. But how much do we give back to ourselves? Are you the kind of person like me who, when you finish one project, you just go right on to the other one? Well, I encourage you to take a moment to celebrate. Say, good job, I am so proud of you. Look at what you've accomplished. You are doing wonderful things in the world. I look at life as a balance sheet. We've got the credits and we've got the debits. Maybe you could take some time later today, write down what are credits in your life, write down what are debits, and look at what you can eliminate from the debit column, and make sure you're doing something in the credit column for yourself every day. And we want to make sure that we can pass this on. So I encourage you to find that inner smile, find that bliss within yourself, so that you can let it shine, so that we can all be lifted up and we can transform our world. Thank you.